Water spots, water spots, water spots. Now, look, some people might say that you click your Jordans together 3 times and say water spots and it will remove them from your finish. Not really, obviously, but in this video today, we are gonna walk you through how to effectively remove water spots from your paint or your glass or your car's finish, okay? Now, depending on how long water spots have been on the surface, depends on how aggressive you need to be. So if you catch them early enough, you can be not aggressive at all. Really, you can use something like Waterless Wash, but if they've been on your surface for an extended period of time, you may need to get into the polishing side of things. Follow along with me in this video to learn how to effectively remove water spots from your finish. Now, when it comes to removing water spots, there's sort of 3 stages at which water spots progress or develop, okay? Stage 1, they're just minerals on the surface, okay? Stage 2, they turn into scale and they turn into a solid sitting on your finish. And stage 3, they've now actually etched into the finish. Now, as the water spots progress to each stage, the severity of the damage on your finish gets higher. And the severity of damage being higher means the more aggressive we need to be at removing the water spots, okay? So in stage 1, which is where we're at right now, these water spots are just minerals sitting on the surface, okay? When they're just minerals sitting on the surface, meaning the water, H2O, has evaporated into the atmosphere and the minerals have stayed behind and are sitting on my paint and on my glass right now, okay? Now, when they're just minerals like this, I can use something like Waterless Wash like this. In this case, we're dissolving the minerals into the Waterless Wash and then we're wiping it off with the Waterless Wash towel. Now, as you can see, as I wipe this off, all the water spots in the area I just used Waterless Wash in are gone, okay? Over here, you can see where I didn't touch it, the water spots are still here. So using something like Waterless Wash or even something like detail spray with a plush towel, like a borderless gray, or even a single soft or double soft towel, is going to essentially rehydrate or dissolve the minerals that are sitting on the surface and take them off. Start with the least aggressive method possible, okay? So when you spray the Waterless Wash on and you wipe it off, if the water spots get removed, then you know that this is your solution and you've caught the water spots early enough, okay? Now, if you use this product, you spray it on and you wipe it off, okay? And you still see water spots, even if they're faint or even if they're very noticeable, then those have progressed to scale, okay? They've progressed to solids that have bonded to your surface and now they're in stage 2. Using a Waterless Wash and spraying and wiping method is not going to remove these water spots. What we need to do in the stage 2 is switch to more of an abrasion method, which is either by using a clay bar or something like a hand polish, all right? Now, I would say the clay bar is more of a solution for all of your car because you can go and clay the entirety of your car. And the hand polish is more of a spot treatment type of product. It's pretty simple. It's just like standard using a clay bar. Spray detail spray as your clay lube, which I just did. And then you take the clay bar and you rub it on the surface like so. And I'm gonna save this area so you can see the hand polish. But clay bar, we run that over and then we just take a towel and wipe it off. And once we do that, you can see that where I did the clay bar, the water spots are gone, okay? The scale that had hardened, turned to a solid and bonded to the surface was able to be removed by the clay bar. Think of water spots in stage 2 as a bonding contaminant, all right? We talk about that a lot when we talk about clay bar, which is essentially something that you can't remove while washing or by using a quick detailer or a Waterless Wash, okay? If you have water spots, not only can you remove them with your clay bar, but any paint overspray or tree sap or anything, you're also gonna be removing with the clay bar. So it's extremely effective. And again, like I said, it's pretty easy. Now, I would say that a fine grade clay bar or something like Adams Polish's clay mitt is gonna work perfect for doing this part. It's not so aggressive that it can mar your finish, but it's aggressive enough that it will remove the scale or the water spots of stage 2 that are on your finish. Now, if you don't have a clay bar or you want to do a spot treatment, like I was saying, you can take something like our hand polish, right? And it pairs with our blue hex grip applicator, and you could put polish onto a hex grip like so. Take this, spread it out a little bit, and I'm just using sort of the weight of my hand, and we rub this over the surface. And actually, I don't know if you can see it as I'm doing this, but you can almost watch those water spots disappear as you rub this onto the surface just a few times. It's not really even, you don't have to be like overly aggressive. You don't have to push super hard. It's more about how many times you go over the surface while using the hand polish, not how hard you push. Then when you wipe it off, as you can see, those water spots are gone. The hand polish can work not only on your paint, but it can also work on the glass as well. Now, one other process that you can utilize during this stage 2 thing, which I tend to use as a last resort, is utilizing a water spot remover, okay? This is hydrofluoric acid in a gel formula, and this is something that you can use. The acid actually breaks down the scale that is on the surface and will remove the water spots, okay? This is not for when the water spots have etched, okay? This is not for stage 3. This is only for stage 2. To use it, you're gonna need first a water spot remover, a gray microfiber applicator, but you're gonna need waterless wash, a waterless wash towel, and then you wanna use gloves, okay? You do not want to get this onto your skin. Put it onto the gray applicator, and you're going to rub it over the surface of where the water spots are. After you've rubbed it over that for maybe a couple passes, a couple times, when it's still wet on the surface, you take waterless wash, spray it on, and you wipe it off immediately, okay? You don't want water spot remover to completely dry on your surface. Now, after you've done the process of water spot remover and then removing it with waterless wash, if you still see some water spots on there or remnants of the water spots, repeat that process over again. What you do not want to do is put water spot remover on the surface and let it sit for an extended period of time. What will happen is it will haze the surface because the acid continues to work even if it's dry on the surface. And the last note I will say about water spot remover is it's for use on paint only. Don't use it on your glass and don't use it on your plastic. So I tend to use water spot remover more as a spot treatment versus something I'm gonna do on my whole car. And when I say spot treatment, I mean a small spot, okay? When I'm gonna get into treating a bigger area of my car or my entire car with water spots, I am going to use the clay bar every single time because it's extremely effective. And if anything, I'm gonna remove all bonded contamination along with the water spots that are on the surface as well. Now, once water spots have etched into the surface like it has onto this glass and this trim, a little bit on the paint, but it's hard to see on the paint because this car is silver, you need to use a different removal method for that. The way I figure out if these have etched is I'm going to use waterless wash first, like we did in stage 1, when it's just minerals, right? And if I wipe this off with the waterless wash, now you can see the water spots are still pretty obvious there. I already knew this, but we didn't catch this early enough, okay? So waterless wash is not going to work. Now, if waterless wash doesn't work, then we bump it up to a clay bar, all right? Just like we did in stage 2. So take our detail spray as our clay lube, and we rub clay over the surface like so. And as you can see, the clay didn't remove the water spots, okay? Obviously, this is not scale or a solid that's sitting on the surface. This is etched into the paint. So once we get to this point, we absolutely need to polish, okay? So I'm gonna use our SK Pro 12mm mini polisher, and I'm gonna use blue foam. Now, Adams Polishes doesn't sell a specific glass polish. Other companies do, we don't, but our compound actually works really good on glass, and especially with the foam pad, okay? So I'm gonna put some compound onto here. Put this on the surface, speed number 4, and we're gonna go through, and I'll just do like a section of it so you can see sort of a before and after. And essentially what I'm doing is fixing and polishing down the water spots. So it usually only takes like a couple passes. And now when we wipe it off, so you can see from here going to here, the water spots are gone. And I know that polishing is going to be the way to remove this. Now, I know I'm doing this on glass because it's really hard to see the water spots on the paint, but if you have water spots that are etched like this one in the glass, the same process goes for paint, all right? So like if you have black paint and you have etched water spots just like this, same thing, try the waterless wash first, okay? If that doesn't work, then you bump it up to the clay bar. And if the clay bar or hand polish or the water spot remover don't work, then you gotta move into the polishing section. So same thing, use the blue foam pad. If it's really bad, you can bump it up to the microfiber pad with the compound, polish it, and then on paint, and I'm gonna probably do it here on glass too, but switch to the white foam pad, like so. And the white polish, okay, everything is color coordinated here at Adams Polishes for the most part. And really what we're trying to do is just create some depth and clarity, whether that be on paint or the glass. Just a final step to get this looking amazing. Remove it with the towel. Again, same thing goes for paint. Same exact process, and realistically what we're trying to do is remove etched and water spots that have occurred. So if water spots have gotten this bad on your car, most likely it's going to be on other areas of your car, if not the whole thing. What you need to do is detail your car, all right? That's like a perfect time, a perfect indicator that I'm not just gonna fix the glass on this car. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do this whole car and make it look great. Again, remember, your full detail doesn't need to happen in just one sitting. You can section your car off by quarters or by panel, polish it, make it look amazing, protect it, and then you're good to go. And then, you know, the next day do a little bit, the next day do a little bit, maybe in 2 days do a little bit, and your full car will be fully detailed and looking great without any etched in water spots. Now, in today's video, we talked about how to remove water spots, whether that be stage 1 where they're minerals, where you can just use the waterless wash, or getting into stage 2 where they've developed into scale when you actually need to use a mechanical removal or an abrasive removal like hand polish or clay bar, or even getting into water spot remover. Now, we also talked about in stage 3, once the water spots have etched, you need to go ahead and polish your car, whether that be with the 15mm Pro, but you're gonna use the blue foam, the white foam, compound and polish. But listen, if you don't even wanna get to this point where you need to remove water spots, watch this video right here that explains how to prevent from even getting water spots. Really great video. We talk about different techniques, different products that you can use to just avoid getting water spots whatsoever. So thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.